up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. All right, so it's Monday, and I wanted to take a look at my demo account and do a little review of today's trades and then backtest for a bit. So I just need to. That sounds like a good time. Let's go already. Okay. Being it tiny. All right, so first and foremost, my drawdown. Um, so I'm having a very hard time staying in good trades. That's my general problem right now is staying in good trades. Um, but I got really, really close last week to dropping below 16,000. And I finally, as of today, crested over 17. I'm at 17.3. So that's $1,000, pulled back up. Um, so I started at 20K originally on the 17th. And if we scroll all the way back to the bottom, 417, that all the way here for a second, 20K. So April, May, June, July, August. So I've been sitting in drawdown for almost 4 months now. It's kind of crazy. But I'm so happy I'm doing this. So happy because everything is getting a lot more easier to understand and a lot more easier for me to get into the trades. I have a bad habit of when I'm working and I can't manage it, I'll just sort of just close it. So as you can see, I'm not gonna remove this paper trading account until the end of the year. Though I did consider it as I was considering not starting my actual trading with 20K next year, but $2,000. Changed my mind again, so I'm not going to. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the the thought of resetting this paper trading account while I'm in drawdown hurts my heart. It's like it's almost like I've just given up, like I'm giving up. And that's not where I'm trying to be. That's not who I'm trying to be as I work through this situation. If I reset this, even to test a process that starts me at 2000 or 10,000 with the micro, it's no, just no. Just no. But anyway, it's the truth is like if I let my trades play out on NQ, it will be really easy to clear the drawdown. So let's look at today's trades, right? So I had a long position here. 15,110 and a quarter. All right. So the AM session. So let's go back up. So here's where I'm seeing what I want to see. Sadly, I was in meetings and could not focus because this is what I was looking for. Low, lower low, shifted, fair value gap. Well, okay, maybe not a fair value gap, but order block, right? So didn't have time to focus on it and I wanted to take an entry. So I didn't get something until up here and I didn't feel comfortable holding. So I waited until 10 o'clock. And obviously I, you know, 15,115, so $100, but I didn't like the back and forth. If I'd gotten it here, I would have been okay. It had moved up. My stop would have been safe, break even, and then just let it ride up because my expectation was for it to come here at the bare minimum, take that, and been okay. So a pattern that's making a ton of sense for me is the breaker, right? But specifically when it looks like this, because I've been watching it over and over and it just keeps happening. This is on the 5 minutes. So let's take a look at the 4 minute on that. Because I didn't have time to do this. While you're working, I try not to um focus too hard. So the fair value gap after the shift right here. So my desire for an entry would have been, since there's one here, would have been something like this with a stop below that candle, something like that. And then ride it up to take out these equal highs right here. Something like that. And I mean, let's be honest, right? Let's take a look at that. So 1805 would have been what I would have taken with that many ticks. Am I currently in a position to hold on to all of that? No. So for the moment, 160 would have been 800, and that would have been perfectly acceptable to me as well. But that's the that was the morning expectation I was looking for right there. Beautiful. Delivers. And then for the PM session, that's where are we at? 2 o'clock. So this was kind of, let's go back up to 5 minutes, sorry. So all of this was kind of strange, and I was thinking to myself, and I did take a short. So let's look at the trades I did take. So we saw this one, and then I moved my stop up because I didn't like the way it was moving, so I just took that. Entry 15,138.25 to 15,148. Okay, and this was closed at 10:13. Okay, so let's see what options we would have had at 10:13. So 10 o'clock after the shift here. Let's go to 1 minute. Not really like currently trading the 1 minute, but after the shift, if I'd had time and it wasn't really, probably hear the thunder, it is raining cats and dogs. I would have been looking for it to come into a discount, which it did. Look at that. Oh, sorry. On the 1 minute. Oops. Keep touching that. And given the fact that there's, where'd it go? Ah, there's this fair value gap on the 2 minute, then yeah, I would have wanted that with something like that. Or even that. But there's literally no guarantee it's gonna come all the way back down here. So best to get in while you can and then cover yourself. Actually, it should have been all the way, but that's a lot to give up. So, and so at 10:13, what was I looking at? Yeah. So at 10:13 here, and oh, when hiding. So I was looking at this fair value gap and the behavior. Oh, this is here, right. So my entry, sorry, that was the exit. My entry was at 15,138.25. 15,138.25. So my entries were right around here, and all this chopping about was giving me thing. I didn't like this return down, so I exited. Again, another scenario where I should just left it alone and let it ride, because obviously it still worked out beautifully, because I was expecting it to come up to this buy side up here. Well, sorry, to this BISI. I can feel that rumbling. It's crazy. And then as I was closing this one, somehow that just got opened. So I closed it quickly, which is something that I'm so happy that I'm able to do now, because there was a time when I was, or I wouldn't close it so quickly. So, only shaved $40 off. But I was like clicking the button, and somehow I clicked the down button. I'm like, what? No, close. But that's life, right? And then the afternoon now at 2:20, I took a short, and from 15 to 12. So 2 o'clock. Yeah, so right around here, right? So I took a short, came down, it dropped. I set my, yeah. So I took it right here and then it dropped and it didn't take the slow out and I didn't like that. So I moved my stop in because, give me a little something, something if it decides to turn around because the behavior just wasn't quite right. And it was on the 1 minute that I took it from, not the 5 minute from a shift perspective. So I didn't like it. So obviously I was wrong. Then I was, chatting, whatever, and then we had low, lower, low, shifted through. So we had a bullish breaker inside of this whole thing, and then this order block right here. So I didn't take it, but I was looking at it and I was thinking to take out this buy side. They ran, actually, there were two sets that I had specified for buy side. This high right here, which is not quite perfect, and then the relative equal high is here because they hadn't taken anything out. So of course they're going to go for that. So that would have been my plan here for 160 ticks, 800. That would have been perfect, and I would have been perfectly happy. Beautiful. The thing is, like getting out of drawdown, it's 4,000 is not a lot. The problem is my mindset and my ability to hold on to the trade while it's happening. So instead, from my very first long um at 15,110, even though it wasn't the perfect one, it would have been fine. Um, it would have been fine for my entry. Um, but that's okay. I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk or anything like that. Anyway, so that's basically what's happening. Finally back up over 17 and gonna slowly make my way up back to 20 and then break out of drawdown and get on with life. So I'm very happy about that. So I'm going to clean this up. This is my new week opening gap page. Not my trading page, though I did use it as such today. All right, so let's save that and let's get to some back testing. And I got to do my journaling today as well. You know what? Let's do that now. Can't be missing out on my journaling. So let me open up the spot where I put my journal in for my journaling in. Today is the 14th. And, I'm slowly recognizing areas where I don't trade. Just don't. It's just that simple. All right, so I'm gonna do top down. So first up is um, the monthly entry. I'm just doing it all from scratch. Like, I don't care if there's stuff in here. I'm literally just going to remove everything when we go up to monthly. I am using the continuous contracts. I can see where everything is. So first things first, I'm going to note that we have a higher high traded through. So we're hanging out around this breaker, this bearish breaker right here. So let's note that. So I'm going to start off. This is going to get ugly really quickly. So it's a bearish breaker. Let's come up in here. And we're going to do monthly bearish breaker. And we're going to take this off because we don't care about that. And we're going to zoom in, make sure everything is properly salted. That looks good. Also, as we're thinking about, we have a BISI right here, monthly. Let's do that. We seem to be hanging out inside of that BISI. Sorry, SIBI. My bad. It's a SIBI. It's a SIBI. 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 Okay. All right, so it's a monthly SIBI right there. And we are at the top of this propulsion block as well. We also have this monthly fair value gap right here inside of the breaker. So a BISI, let's pop that in there. And so it's a monthly BISI. Let's make sure that looks good. So the whole point of this is for me to be able to recognize all the different PD arrays and where price is drawing to, et cetera, right? So propulsion block, that's the propulsion block high, and then that's the open. So I'm just gonna note those. Actually, I'm just gonna note the midpoint of the propulsion block for now, because if we get past that, then we're gonna definitely continue on down. So wait, you know what? Let's put this back down here. Okay. So I'm gonna do this, and we're just gonna go right here. So this is mean threshold. So it's gonna monthly bearish propulsion block mean threshold right there. And you can be you can be like a blue, and let's make you a dotted line, and let's make you a thick dotted line so we notice. Okay, good. So let's take that off for now. So that's everything on the monthly for me to pay attention to, I think, for the moment. Of course, order block. How far into this wick on the order block did they come into? Let's zoom in. Yeah, I know this is the boring stuff, right? All right, so about mean threshold. Look at that. So this is I have a bearish order block thingy in here. Nope. Okay. So let's do this, and it's going to be red, and we're just going to be a line, and we're going to be a monthly bearish OBMT on that one. Beautiful. And what else we got? What else is important? Let's take that off and get the 0.25s, the 0.75 of this. So, oh, look at that. Let's tap, oh, Josie. Alrighty, and then that's 0.75 of that wick of that order block. That's 1605.25, and the high of this is 1606.275. So we shaved it. Wow, it's so hard. Gotta zoom in. They shaved over it, but they did. Let's see. Oops, I'm a little too high. That. And this one, let's get right there. Did I copy it somehow? There we go. All right, so we've been respecting the mean threshold of this wick so far, so let's keep that as something of note. Let's delete that. All right. Okay, so this is the playing space that we're inside of for the monthly journaling. We have other things for them to drop down into for funsies. If they get past the halfway point, let's add that to let's make our little notes here. Monthly, this is monthly 8/14, 23. So NQ continuous contract, delivered the month of July into the, what is this, December, I believe? Yeah, into the December 21 bearish OB's mean threshold and then respected it, and then seems to be respecting it for the month of August 23. Noting the rejection at the 0.75 of the monthly bearish OB's OB and the small dip into the monthly FVG BISI below. If price continues to drop, and then we would expect them to take out the FEG BISI and then use it as resistance to continue lower. Okay. Alrighty. So let me make myself a copy of that image. Yeah, this is the real exciting stuff, y'all. But this is what's gonna make me an amazing trader. All right, so let's dip down to the weekly entry, because this also, you know, as I review, it also helps me see what they're doing, and the breaker becomes even more obvious. Higher high, traded through, and with this fair value gap right here, you could have taken the entry, stop above the wick, drop to take out that low or that low. I mean, honestly, like for a swing trader, this is there's this order block right here, so it wouldn't have been weird to put an entry right there. Oops. Let's see. I'm just curious as to, because I've already considered swing trading. Well, let's go with yet, you know, and a stop above that with the expectation of, like, say, taking out those lows right there, you know, like an easy, quick run. I don't even know how long that would take. Or even just taking that low out, or just going to that, whatever. Let's see. So, let's see what this dollar value is. Haha. Whoa. For one trade, risking 12,000, that's a lot of percentage. That would be kind of ridiculous to risk all of those ticks. But I mean, in comparison to what you're going for, it's 59,055. Oh, Jesus, it's crazy. That's amazing, though. That's beautiful. I mean, so I understand why swing traders do their thing. That's nice. But it does take quite some time to get there, it looks like. So if we were to get that entry right here, and then an exit below this low, then we'd have to sit through all of that drama right there. How many days? This is in weeks. Ugh, that's not a swing trader. That's a long-term trade. Never mind. I said it wrong. Anyway, so let's look at the weekly, right? So on the weekly, we have this bearish order block where price came down into it. Let's note if there's any see where the mean threshold is on this guy. Still about, yeah, so still was more so respecting the, and just move this over so I can make my notes here. It's gonna be weekly. And let's delete all that. All right, cool. So we've delivered into the breaker. Order block. Huh. Almost like its own little breaker right here. Higher, traded through. It rolled into this, the base of this breaker a little bit. Is there a fair value gap in here? Yes. Interesting. So let me note that. So, still gonna use a box. The base of this, top of that's gonna be a BISSY. Ooh, is that where you dipped into? So that's a BISSY, and this is gonna be a weekly BISSY. Okay, right. So we see, and let's just make sure everything is just so, because look at that. You gotta zoom in, man. That's a lot of ticks, man. Get your stuff together, Shakira. Get your stuff together. All right, there we go. Gotta zoom in, man. Gotta zoom in, zooming in. Y'all seen them? Zooming in. All right. So we see 0.75 and this BISSY. So they dipped. How much into this BISSY did they dip in? Because we can measure it, right? So they didn't quite make it into the 0.25 of the BISSY. And then they dropped. So now, from a weekly perspective, I'm saying we have a short-term low here. So we have a this and then a this and that's below. So yeah, so they just took this out. So that's technically a shift in market structure. The BISSY's there, and we're still inside of the bearish breaker. So once that shift happened, it's not actually strange for them to want to come back up into this BISSY to continue for a continuation down. So let's note all of that and see how well we work towards that. Now, okay, so the week of deliver the week of August 7th to take out the short-term low at the July 10th 23 lows, which indicates a desire for lower prices. It is not strange for price to reach back up to the monthly FEG BISSY and use it as resistance to allow smart money to build orders for shorts down into the monthly FEG BISSY below. It's not bad at all, I think. The week's still forming though. It is only Monday, so we will see how the week ends. It could make the high of the week either Monday or Tuesday and then drop. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, tedious, but worth it. All right. So that was the weekly entry. Let's do the daily entry. Yes, I'm doing this every single day. So y'all won't be with me every time I do this, but you know, So let's delete that. And let's switch to the daily and let's see how we've been forming here. So everything seems to change a little bit, right? When we get to the daily. So what's fascinating is we're at a low, lower low, traded through. There is a breaker right here. So I am going to note that the breaker exists here. So this is a bullish breaker on the daily. And this is the bullish breaker high. And let's make that that shade of purple. And then let me borrow that. Okay. And this is the breaker low. All right. Let's see. Interesting. Let's move this over here so I can do that. So it used the monthly fair value gap and the order block. Now let's zoom in on this. Fascinating. So got the breaker, so I'm going to have to do, this is the order block. So this is a daily bullish OB, let's call it the wick low. And let's change this to, oh, maybe not green, we can go with orange, and let's make it a dotted line. Okay, and then that to the wick high. So this would have been a beautiful place for a long entry if I'd been paying closer attention. But you can see how price is trusting it. So, or reacted to it. Okay, so uh, to the daily bullish breaker formed on the June 22nd candle. And along with the daily bullish order block wick low inside of the monthly fair value gap BISI reacted predictably and showed a Judas swing into the daily bullish order block. From June 26, 23. I didn't let's see, June 26, 23. And showed a Judas swing into the daily order block from June 26, 23. Yeah. This is the expected reaction. And also a return after the weekly MSS to the downside. These types of moves are great areas for anticipating behaviors. It's beautiful. I mean, it's just beautiful. What else is on this daily? So we have the breaker. We have this. Now there's this BISI that might hold price down on the daily. Given that we have this fair value gap right here, I want to see how I'm going to use that one more than I care about this one. Let's see, what has this BISI been doing with itself? Okay, so let's note this one. So we have another daily BISI right here that price returned into. Okay. And I'm curious to see if it's gonna, so far we've seen it turn into a IFED, sorry, inversion fair value gap. So we'll see how the next day's candle plays out. But from a daily perspective, I'm going to note the bearish order block right here. Just put a daily dash dash OB, and this is the Solvik, I guess, start, whatever. Right. Zoom in, zooming in, zooming in. So important to zoom in. Otherwise, things won't be in the places they need to be in. Booker. Okay, there we go. All right, I think that's everything I'm going to bother with on the daily. Let's save this one. Copy that. Let's drop it into the daily entry. Now, let's dip down into the 4-hour and see what we can see there. I know we said we were going to backtest, but this is also massively important, and I can backtest on my own. All right, so let's drop down to the 4-hour, and what have we done so far? Look at a difference in the charts. It's just, look at that shift. So it finds short-term lows. When it took out this low right here, shift, return up to an order block, shift, return up to an order block, shift. Well, it did return up to an order block, but it took it out a little bit too. Return to this one. And now shift, and now we took out this short-term high right here. So I'm not gonna lie, like, I feel like this is a balanced space. It probably will turn and continue down, but if it takes out this high right here, then it at least will dive further up into this bearish breaker. So from the 4-hour, what do we have to pay attention to? So there's no real fair value gaps here. We have a low, lower low. It's not pretty. We've got this fair value gap right here, this BISI. Extend that out in time. Most of this just looks like crap to me, if I'm being honest. Let's see how price has behaved around it, though. So we see the candles. Look at that. Respecting the top of, what is this? The monthly fair value gap, even though they wicked into it, right? Zoom in on that. Let's burn that into my mind. Look at that. Respected it, then drop back down into that, the daily order block. So there, and this is the breaker low. So in terms of the breaker, where are we? Okay, so they dropped about 0.25 of the breaker, a little bit below that. and then nice, beautiful. So, what do we have? So this is a short-term high they took out. They created one here. So low, lower low, traded through. So the thing is, this could potentially become a breaker if it actually takes out. Low, lower low traded through. Like this would be a place that I want to take a higher prices for. So we have to see how it forms. If it takes this out, at least reprices to the top of this thing and then continues, use it as resistance and then continues on down. But given the behavior, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. All right, so this is showing me a potential, at least to drive up to take out these highs. So that's what I'm technically looking for. So where's my note? Oops, get that. Where's my note-taking stuff? There you are. So, um, on the 4 hour, on the 4 hour, ish, 4 hour is showing signs of a potential bullish breaker to take out the August 10th highs, 10th 23 highs at the minimum before minimum before it drops for lower prices. Okay. Potential. Okay. All right. I like that. So we haven't seen that so far. We haven't seen a low, lower, low traded through, low, lower, low traded through until here. So let's note that right quick here. So we have all of this is a breaker, by the way. And it's funny, it's a breaker inside of a breaker. And the tiniest of fair value gaps inside the breaker. So let's note that one on the 4 hour. Yes, we have so many colors going on. And I'm just gonna do a light purple for this breaker. This is for my journaling, not for actual trading. So let's go 4 hour bullish breaker. All right, and we have a fair value gap inside of it. No guarantee they'll come back down. We have this and this. They might just make the high and then turn around, but best to utilize what we have. Okay. All right. So that's the delivery for now. Let's copy that and drop it into my notes here. And one last entry on the 1 hour. All right. So let's see. How did we do on the 1 hour? Okay. Over here. All right. So I just had a low, lower low, traded through, fair value gap, return into the fair value gap, and the order block wick low for a nice long entry. Around 10. Hmm. These things are all over the place. and FEG busy for a long entry up into the monthly FEG CB. The wicks dropped into the daily bullish order block. Wick. So if I were to have taken something from, say, here, my stop would have been under here, and wanted to dig into that. Oof, what does that even look like? Okay, all right, risk 8 to something for 45. It's not so bad, right? Not bad at all. Daily order block showing this confluence of PD arrays made the long much stronger. All right, folks, I am going to call this one. And as I originally didn't want to make it too long, but I do want to back test. But I am about to go do something. I'm just curious. Let's look at the 15 minutes on this delivery. Low, lower, low, traded through. So this right here would have been mean. It's not the prettiest, and I don't like it, and I wouldn't have taken that on the 15. But this shift right here, return. I see it. 12:15 lunch run, return back 2:30. Nice. All right, folks. Nothing too long today. Hope you're doing well with your trading. I am most definitely starting to do better and have a lot more restraint and treating this more like a business every day. Every day better, every day better. I am proud of myself for not for feeling as though if I closed my demo account, my paper, if I reset it, I would be cheating myself. And I agree. I would absolutely be cheating myself. So even though I want to test out the smaller contract, the smaller dollar value with the micros, I need to clean this out first. And once it's cleared out, then I can reset it to the 10 and then use the micro. That's the plan. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Be safe out in these streets. Follow your plan. Let me know down in the comments how things are going for you as you go through your journey, learning how to day trade. And just have a wonderful evening. Shakira out.